Hey everyone, Shawn, Sav Mu. Boy, oh boy, like 2 weeks ago, that video we did on the driver really raised a lot of eyebrows. So many of you can't believe we're hitting the ball that far with such little effort. Today we're gonna prove it to you. This is what we do. So we're gonna show you 3 incredible secrets. Actually, we have a bonus secret you don't wanna miss. You wanna stay all the way to the end of the video for this one. And it's gonna be really worth your while. We're talking 30 yards minimum for so many of you, so don't miss this episode. Before we begin, of course, we would just love for you to join us and subscribe to our channel. And Sav, what else?
Click the notification bell, leave a comment down below. That was your line, I'm so sorry.
That's okay, but leave a comment if you have any questions.
Yeah, man. Good. That was weird. That's good.
That was weird.
During the warm-up, Sav just belts a couple of drives, 300, 299. We just added, we're playing Goldilocks with her loft, and we put it at +2 from 9 degrees, and just to see what was going on. And I thought it would be way too spinny, but we didn't test it on the new Callaway driver, and her spin is staying down because she's at +9 degrees up. Those are the kind of numbers that we're looking for. But what we're going to talk about first and foremost is when you're delivering your shot. So what we're looking for is an angle of attack that's upwards through the ball. And so you need a certain height of tee for that. Stay to the end. We're going to show you how important the tee height is, okay? We're saving that for the end. So we're catching it on the way up, and in your case, a little left of the intermediate point because you're hitting draw.
Yeah.
When she delivers that full abandoned throw in that direction, the club face needs to be closed enough so she doesn't have to worry about the ball ballooning out to the left. So many of you are playing with this nasty neutral grip that you think is square at address, but in reality, dynamically, it's so far off the planet, it's not even funny. So now you got to find a way to square it up and bow your wrist and flip your hands and do all kinds of gymnastics here at the bottom while the target's waiting for you. So we're going to show you Savannah's grip. And then you'll see Munash's grip is every bit as strong. Mine is a little bit more tame. It's strongish. And you'll see the face of my club at the top of the backswing is way more open than Sav's. But when I throw the club in that direction, I don't feel the need to square it up. It's just the way my fast twitch muscles work, and it's the way they've worked my whole life. I used to play a lot of ball. So Sav, let's get in there. First thing I want to show them is the grip. Come on up closer to the camera here. All right? We call this the knuckle sandwich. All right? 4 knuckles. And so many of you have noticed in her videos, hey, you know, girl, your grip is way too strong. You gotta watch out. It's crazy. You know, you're gonna be hooking it off the planet. You don't hook the ball.
I don't hook the ball.
And you play fades at will, but they're power fades.
Yeah.
So if you look at the top of the backswing of Dustin Johnson's backswing, the club face is pointing right at the sky, just like this girl. Just like Brendan Steele, just like Zach Johnson. So many of the players on tour, you go to a PGA Tour event, you sit on the first tee and you take notes. 70% of the players that go through that first tee have a strong grip. Strong to very strong. We're talking 3 to 4 knuckles consistently.
And the ladies too.
And the ladies too. And there's a reason for that. It gives them the ability to go to the target. Target's where the money is. If you don't go to the target, don't make any money. You lose your privileges to be on tour. And you won't win anything around your club either, all right? So we want you to get distance with ease, and that starts with the grip. Sav? Now, let me set up the shot for her. This is her intermediate point. You need this to deliver your action. The club's coming from the inside. On the way up, catches the tip of the tee to the left of the intermediate point. So the ball is going to start toward this center line, and then it's going to draw a little bit to the right of that, okay? Oh, look at that.
Oh, that was good.
And what do we have for Karen?
273.
273 carry,
And
298. Come on, Sav. Just,
that was 3 in a row over 395.
wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So let's look at those numbers.
Wow,
look at
look
this,
at that angle of attack.
right? Let's go back here and see those numbers. All right. So you're almost at 106 miles per hour,
Yeah.
right? Beautiful path from the inside. Now look at this, 10.5 degrees up. This is a big one. This is why our numbers are a little bit different than what you normally see. Because what you normally see on tour is like +3 up, maybe 5 up. And when Rory wants to go for one, it's 7 degrees up. All the long drive competitors are 9, 10, and 11 degrees up. This is what gives you a nice high launch with very low spin to give you that kind of carry. Look at that speed, right? This is why we've optimized this girl's numbers. So now you get that, with that low spin, you're going to get a decent rollout on that as well. So a nice 25-yard rollout, 20 to 25 yards, and that's where you can get 300 yards from that kind of club hit speed, okay? So, and look at that, right in the kisser, nice and right in the center of that face. So Sav, freaking amazing. Again, just beautiful. One, you know?
Love it.
So the next aspect of distance that's really important is width, okay? So because I'm the most experienced member here, I'm gonna go last and I'm gonna show you, we're gonna be talking about pumping the legs. Just look at this video I have right here of Mr. Bryson DeChambeau, who just reached over 215 miles per hour ball speed. You can't do that if you don't hit the center of the club face. So look at the background where his head is. Look at how deep his knee flex is at address. And then watch how the first move is the heave away. I've been teaching this for 15 years. I'll show you some videos I have on YouTube called Create Serious Speed, Shawn Clement. And go check that out. I was already teaching that for about 3 years before I unveiled it on YouTube. And they've been teaching this now for about 6 months. Mark Blackburn came out with his video about, 6 months ago about how you have to come up if you want to load the ground properly. Now, you don't have that issue yet because you still have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
So you're staying beautiful in the backswing, but boy, oh boy, have you learned how to use your legs in the downswing.
Yeah.
And it's when you learn how to use your legs, and it just happened by itself, right?
Yeah, it just evolved on its own.
We kept throwing the club in that direction. And then you look at now Bryson, how he throws the club. He gathers up, heaves everything up, and notice as he's getting to the top of the backswing, then he goes back and loads the ground. So you see his head goes from the bottom of the backboard of that basketball backboard, goes all the way to the top, comes back down to the bottom, and then comes back up to the top of it again. This is how we turbocharge the swing. And I'm going to show you a very easy drill to do and get the feel of this for yourself at home, and then build that into your swing so you know how to recognize it when it starts to happen.
Yeah.
And your buddy goes, oh, be careful, watch out, your head's bobbing up and down. Oh, no, we got to stay at the same level.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. Don't hold your swing back, okay? So with Mu, we're going to be talking about width.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is something that you hear about all the time. So you notice when Bryson heaved that club back,
Right.
notice how his arms just levitated up his rib cage.
Right.
And both armpits were completely off the rib cage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead and take your set up.
Okay.
So let's say you were going to whip through the tip of that tee to the left edge of that intermediate point, right?
Yeah.
So let's see you take a backswing and stop. So look at here how this arm is completely free, and the width that he has with that lead arm away from his body right there. The only way that you can achieve that, stand here in front and face the camera.
Okay.
Do that same backswing if you will.
Okay.
So notice how his whole backside is facing the target. The backside includes your butt. So the butt's got to swivel toward the target. Notice how, because half your knee is your femur is your hip, notice how that knee's got to rotate in. And then you'll see Bryson allow that heel to come off the ground. Go ahead and let it come off the ground. I know you don't do that.
Not yet.
So, not yet,
Yeah.
right? You're only at 135 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
We were warming up before,
Yeah.
and he was swinging at 132 miles an hour. He says, man, I'm trying to keep it down to about 120. I'm just trying to swing smooth.
Yeah.
And he's just firing it out there at 130 miles an hour, and I'm just shaking my head going, come on! Nice full backswing and stop. Awesome. So this is completely free. Look at the width he has here. The only way you can create that kind of width is if you turn your body fully, okay? Now, from there, Mu's getting ready to throw his club through that arc into that direction. So get ready to throw. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that deep squat. So everything comes back down. He's getting ready. Now look at this right here. Notice how this elbow is leading. That's part of his kinetic chain. It's not lagging back here and all smushed up against his body.
Yeah.
So the elbow leads the hands lead the club.
Yeah.
And where is that arm going to extend, Mu?
Right here.
That's it. Look at that.
Yeah.
So now you got full extension over here. We're collecting the ball there. The ball's going to mash up against the club face.
Yeah.
Right along the face for just a little bit, and then the ball just rockets off and detaches from the face as you're releasing it out there in the direction that you want to start it.
Right.
All right, you want to hit one?
Sure.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Felt good?
Felt good.
So you were
Just didn't close the face. Held on to it a little bit.
I mean,
well, held it on for 350.
Yeah.
Sav, he says he held on to it.
Yeah.
So your face was 0.5 open.
Yeah, I felt that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So notice a little 7.3, 4.6 up. I mean,
I lost my flat.
you weren't able to hit up on the ball for the longest time, right?
Yeah, that was my
Then
tendency.
all of a sudden it just showed up. Look at that backspin's beautiful, right in the center of that club face.
Yeah.
Very straight.
Yeah.
So if you turn that into 1 degree closed, then that's right
Strong.
back in the middle of the fairway.
That's right.
So again, because you've got really solid numbers at 124 miles an hour, you get 326 carry.
Right.
That's what they were talking about with Rory, right?
That's right, yeah.
That Rory, got it out there 328
Yeah.
to Bryson's 308.
Right.
And Rory's at 126 miles an hour and
Yeah.
Bryson was at 134.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the difference between a mishit and something that's flush.
Yeah.
So really, really strong numbers, man. I mean, you're now, carrying between 320 and 350, because I've seen you carry at 350.
Yeah, it's my training session when I'm
Yeah.
humming in all cylinders.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So now that takes care of width. Now, one of the things, just before we go, one of the things you hear a lot is, you need to be connected. Your arms need to be connected so that something bad doesn't happen, because we're talking about a lot of over the top and over swinging and stuff like that. So they say, take a head cover and put it underneath your armpit. So what I did is I'm taking Mu's mask and I'm going to put it under my armpit, right? And now I'm going to throw something with this. And it's like, you try to throw something with something under your armpit, it just doesn't work. It's T-Rex, right? It's T-Rex baseball. That's all you got. So if you really want to throw it with authority, and that's what we were talking about before, you need that width. And look at how wide that arm is here, so that my elbow has the ability to get out in front. If I try to keep my armpit there, now my elbow's stuck to my side, I've just ruined my kinetic chain. Okay?
Right, yeah.
So you look at the body language that you gave us before. I mean, it's so spot on. I mean, this guy's only 3 years old in golf. 3 years old. He's on his 3rd season, and look at the quality of the strikes. This is what we want for you. There's no nonsense here. There's no restriction baloney, okay? Yeah. It's like you take that and you throw it that way, and you let your body respond to the task that we give you, and magically all the body positions appear, okay? So now let's look at leg work now, which is really key.
Yeah. Thanks, Shawn.
Pleasure, man. Sorry about your mask.
That's okay. I'll get another one.
Just kidding. The leg work that you see Bryson doing right now. Notice how there's a heave. He is heaving the club away from the ball. So he's coming up. So at address, we talk about how we want to use the weight of the arm club unit to deliver the action toward the target. So since we're using the weight of the arm club unit, we can't use the muscles in the arms, right? We got to find a way to get the arms into the backswing. So we're going to move it a little forward. You get a little rock forward here. And what Mu and I love to do is we like to tap that back heel to get things going.
Right.
So it's like we're in our follow through and we tap the back heel to heave everything into the backswing. So if I wanted to toss this hammer through the wall here, it would be heave, heave. So I'm heaving the hammer up, and then everything levitates and floats away from the center and up. That's where you see that big width that Bryson is achieving now. So the bigger you can make the circle, Bubba Watson, you watch how big his backswing is, just phenomenally wide.
Right.
So, and that was Jack Nicklaus. Mm-hmm. Heave it wide and it'll levitate up on its own. And while it's levitating up, the brain's got all this time to get you ready to go downtown. That's where the money is, right? So heave, let it come up, go get the ground, use the ground to get the body out of the way so we can heave that way. But all you got to think about is just heave the hammer that way. So if I take my net, let me just not put a dent in the wall here. Okay? So I'm just going to heave the hammer at the top of this net. Here we go. It's like playing horseshoes. If you did it with one arm, notice how the body has to turn. See how my shoulders are doing at least a 90 degrees here to get out of the way. If I do it like this, I just pinch the front of my shoulder, get out of the way, heave. So there should never be any pushing or shoving on behalf of the arms, ever, okay? It's all driven by the legs. And the legs, you'll see this if I wanted to jump, right? So I want to jump towards you. You notice how my arms, I'm just waiting on the timing of the swing of my arms. And there it is. So the arms are levitating up and everything is being carried upwards for me. So same thing here. Heave, heave. So you see how that works? Now, what I'm doing with the driver is I'm going to heave, throw. Heave, throw it out there. You watch Bryson swinging right next to me, you'll see exactly the same thing. So we've been teaching this for 15 years now. And what you've seen from Bryson has only been around for about a year. And you've seen George Gankus teach that to Danny Lee, where he went up 40 yards in his driving distance. And you've seen that, you know, there's a lot more players that are starting to do this on tour. And they're gaining a lot of distance because they now know how to use their legs. We talk about ground forces all the time. The problem is you don't want to have to manufacture a thinking process through there. Because I know a lot of you said, you know, I've tried that stuff and I stick the club in the ground, I whiff the ball. It's because you're thinking, okay, extend the legs, and now I gotta go get the ground, and now I gotta turn my hips, and you're trying to do it in a piecemeal fashion where your Pinocchio without strings already knows what to do. So we're using the weight of the arm club unit. So let's say I'm gonna hit a little fade here. We're using the weight of the arm club unit. See, that's why you see Bryson doing this at address, because he's feeling the weight of that arm club unit. So we're going to heave everything back, and now I'm just throwing everything through. So watch the blur of my club here. Heave, throw. Notice how the blur matched up with the direction I want it to go on. So heave and throw. That's the one. That started right on the line I wanted.
Wow. Nice flight.
Oh, yeah. So just a hair closed in the face, but there's my stock drive now. It's 315. And that was, it was just a little off. So 7 degrees up, 15 degrees launch. My spin was a little higher because it was just a hair low on the face. The path is what I wanted to. The face was open to that path. That was excellent. And it just basically stayed straight. So that is the straight fade. And look at this. I got it over 115 again, buddy.
There you go.
So 116.5 miles an hour for a 55-year-old guy.
Your previous one was 117.
Was it?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. So the turbocharging of the legs, there's, Sav, you experienced 5 miles an hour more. So get out there, get a horseshoe kit. Go play horseshoes with your family, right? Perfect little bubble COVID activity. And just toss some horseshoes and really use your legs to toss the horseshoes and get that same sensation where you want to throw the club. So if I want to throw the club through the wall, heave, throw. You see how turbocharged that swing becomes, and it's really, really easy to do. So it feels extremely easy to get that kind of power. Now that Mu knows how to use his legs, it's like, I can't hold it back anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
It just wants to, you should see this guy squat stuff in the gym, for crying out loud. So when you've got this kind of ease in using your ability and you've got this fast twitch muscles and you're very explosive, man, that's one heck of an advantage. So we also encourage you to check out, Mu and our golf fitness page. Go to wisdomingolf.com and check out our fitness page, and you'll see our fitness blog, and check out what Mu is doing right now. He's working with Nick Randall from Golf Fit Pro, and those guys are just, ahead of their time like we are when it comes to fitness, and they'll get you tuned up for this golf season, big time. So last tip, don't go away. We want to make sure that you got the right tee height to do what you're trying to do, right? All right, let's have a look. All right. So big secret as to, the kind of carry that we can all get from the speed that we have is we're able to hit up on the ball, all right? So imagine a ball on a string, if you will, right? So here's the ball, here's the string, here's it attached to my shoulder, and now there's my ball on a string. So notice the center of that machine is my shoulder. If I bring both hands together to take my grip, the center of the machine now is right here between my two clavicles. It's called the sternal notch. So now I want that to be here and then notice how I'm facing my club and my eyes are on the back of the tee. So right now it feels like I'm going to catch the tip of the tee on the way up. If I face the ball, goodbye. Notice now it's impossible for me to catch it on the way up. So many of you are not aware that your setup will just not allow you to catch the ball on the way up. So, you're already behind the 8 ball. We haven't even started yet. So we play the ball forward, yes. If I were to play the ball too far forward, now watch. There's my center. Everything goes up, comes back down, and from there goes back up again. I'm just going to miss the ball on the way up. So you see the blur of my club and how it was going to miss the ball on the way up. So I get a little closer. Now, right now, it feels like I'm going to top the ball on the way up. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the tee, and I'm going to maintain my center and just throw it from here and see what happens. So even then, that was a little too far up.
Yeah.
So I get closer. Now it feels like I get part of it, So I see the tip of the tee. And you'll notice that was right on the bottom of the club. Now I've got a reference, don't I? Right? So then I get a little closer. It's like, oh, okay, I got it. Now it feels like I'm going to catch it on the way up and I'm going to have solid contact. If I do that, I'm going clean underneath the ball. There's my pop fly. There we go. So from there, if I want to play a little fade, notice how I'm moving around it now. So I've got it on the way up, got it on the way up, got it on the way up. Okay. So from there, for me, at this height of tee, I feel like I'm going to get it about 4 or 5 degrees up.
Right.
So in that direction, here we go. And that, to me, still felt a little low on the face.
Yeah.
But nice sound.
Good
Really,
flight.
I caught most of that.
Yeah.
And there's, a 300-yard drive missed.
Yeah. Contact and
Let's
sound.
look at contact now. So see how it was a little low on the face?
Yeah.
And that was 7 degrees up.
Yeah, wow.
So if I take it 5 degrees up and play the ball a little bit more inside,
Right.
then maybe I'll add a little loft on my club head. Instead of 8, I'll put it at 9 degrees.
Right.
And I'll be able to, get away with it.
Right.
I like these martini tees, right? So this feels like I can go clean underneath the ball.
Right.
This allows me to go 10 degrees up.
Exactly.
The other tee allows me to go about 4 or 5 degrees up.
Right.
And, you guys are very comfortable with that height of tee,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. For me, it just doesn't jive, right?
That's
so
right.
for me, I like this higher tee.
Right.
Now if I take it in that direction again, feels like I'm going to catch it on the way up and in that direction. Here we go.
Nice flight.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be higher on the face.
There you go.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't hit 328 in a long time. In a long, long time. So I'm really getting used to this.
The club at.
So look, see where I hit it now?
Yeah.
Above the equator, 116 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that was, angle of attack was 6.2 up.
Right.
But look at that launch angle, 17 degrees. So that's why, it's personal preference. You just find your center. If I put a ball flat on the ground, there's the center of my stance. That feels like I'm going to miss it. Still missing it. Whoop, now I'm topping it. Now I'm hitting it flush. So if I put this ball on a tee, see that? Now I can catch it on the way up. There's your last bonus secret to get you the distance that you need to get those numbers that we're looking for with the driver. So I know this is going to help so many of you, and we have this information in spades on our premium channel. And the next series that we have, we're just finishing up this amazing off-season training series for 2021. And in about 3 episodes from now, we're starting our kinetic chain engagement series. How to engage that kinetic chain the way Bryson and the way, if you look at Rory and what he does at the top of his backswing,
Yeah.
you really see him loading, coming from the inside of the right, back to the left. It's the same as Bryson. It was the same as Jack Nicklaus. It's the same as what we teach because the weight shift comes from behind you. So all of our students have been able to master this because they have that understanding. Number one, they're not trying to slide and load up the weight and then try to fire the weight off that right side. That's not how we shift weight. So if you want a little more information on that, go check out best downswing weight shift, Shawn Clement. An oldie but goodie from back in 2007.
Oh,
It's got about 750,000 hits on it. Really well worth your while. And then just come and join us on wisdomandgolfpremium.com. We'll be able to answer your questions there, do some swing analysis for you, have some one-on-one sessions. That's been really big. We've been doing so well with that one-on-one session. Can't wait to see you. All the best.